With a simple wag of its tail, this mechanical bulldog is designed to gobble up your coins. But in its current, dilapidated state, ravaged by time and neglect, that's a feat it certainly can't perform. Today, we join master restorer Ayaz as he undertakes the mission to grant this vintage cast-iron bulldog bank a perfect restoration. After a generous spray of penetrating oil to loosen the seized components, the disassembly process can finally begin. Once the main bolt is removed and the body is split open, we get a glimpse of the simple yet fascinating mechanical linkage system hidden within. This mechanism gives the dog a remarkably lifelike eating motion. Unlike other mechanical banks where a hand might feed itself, this one realistically tips the coin from its nose into its mouth, a truly charming design. With the full disassembly complete, Ayaz can now move on to the next critical phase of the restoration. The first order of business is rust removal, and for this he opts for the most cost-effective method, electrolytic rust removal. By adding salt to the water to increase conductivity, connecting the rusty parts to the negative terminal and a piece of scrap iron to the positive, a direct current begins the slow, steady process of stripping away the corrosion. 12 hours later, the surface is covered in a disgusting sludge of chemically dissolved and physically detached rust. Despite the lengthy electrolysis bath, some stubborn rust remains, necessitating a second pass with a bench grinder fitted with a wire wheel. For the hard-to-reach interior surfaces, a rotary tool is used to meticulously clean every nook and cranny, bringing back the original metallic sheen of the cast iron. With all the rust vanquished, the focus shifts to truing the components, filing down uneven mating surfaces, smoothing the edges of the coin slot, and leveling out any pits and imperfections on the surface. The headpiece requires special attention. After leveling the mating surfaces, he must extract a broken-off bolt from deep inside its base. By welding a nut onto the remnant, he gains the leverage needed to successfully remove the broken piece. He then welds a new threaded base in its place. Preheating the cast iron is a crucial step to reduce thermal stress, preventing deformation and the formation of cold cracks. Once the weld is complete, the excess material is ground down and a new hole is tapped, creating a perfectly functional new mounting point. Beyond the broken bolt, a significant chunk of material was missing from the dog's neck. The primary reason its head was askew in the beginning. Again, using his welding skills, Ayaz builds up the area with new material, then carefully cuts and grinds it to sculpt the precise shape required. Notice the track-like groove he's recreating. This clever feature allows the dog's neck to retract as it eats, creating a seamless and incredibly lifelike animation. The dog's nose, which holds the coin, also needs modification due to a damaged internal linkage. He carefully alters the area to properly fit a newly fabricated nose tray. The new piece fits perfectly. All that remains is to weld the small holes on top shut. With all the structural repairs and fabrication complete, he moves to the painstaking process of surface finishing, using a rotary tool to eliminate all casting marks, pits, and rough textures for a flawlessly smooth finish. After carefully covering the areas that won't be painted with masking tape, he proceeds to the priming and painting stage. He applies a coat of gray-white epoxy primer for adhesion and protection, followed by a rich golden-brown top coat that mimics the beautiful coat of a real bulldog. The unpainted mechanical parts are treated with a cold bluing solution and a protective coat of anti-rust oil to preserve their finish. The body of the bank receives a more complex paint job, involving not just black and golden brown, but also vibrant red accents and delicate outlining with a gold leaf pen. At this point, the exterior finishing is complete, and the results are stunning. Now, the newly fabricated nose tray must be carefully welded to its corresponding linkage rod, then treated with the same bluing solution and protective oil. Next to be addressed is the dog's tail, which is not just a tail, but the lever that powers the entire internal mechanism. After truing up the broken ends, he must carefully weld the two halves back together. Unlike previous welds, this requires grinding a V-groove into the joint, which creates a larger surface area for a much stronger, more reliable weld. Naturally, the restored tail also receives the final cold bluing and oil protection treatment. The base plate and its side panels are cleaned, smoothed, and given a coat of sleek black paint. However, the base plate is missing its original coin retrieval cover, which Ayaz will have to fabricate from scratch. Lacking specialized equipment for such a task, he cleverly stacks and welds together different pieces of metal to build up the unique shape of the cover. After the tedious process of grinding, shaping, and chamfering the edges, followed by a final bluing treatment, the brand new cover is complete. It slides into place perfectly. Finally, after cleaning and polishing the last few small components like springs and bolts, every single piece is now ready for the final assembly. The reassembly is a straightforward process, a satisfying sequence of putting each restored part back in its rightful place. It's a meticulous process that demands a steady hand and a keen eye. Watching the internal mechanics come together, one can truly appreciate the genius of the design. A pull of the tail lever retracts the head, which in turn actuates the linkages for the jaw and nose, tipping the coin into the mouth in one swift, seamless motion. With a final, delicate touch to paint the eyes, the restoration of this vintage cast-iron bulldog bank is officially complete. Let's take a moment to appreciate the incredible transformation. This restoration serves as a wonderful tribute, a reminder that with skill and dedication, we can save these charming pieces of history, allowing them to bring joy to new generations, one coin at a time. Thank you for joining us in the workshop for this incredible journey of restoration.